we will get started. Obviously, like I say, Matthew, this is recording, so you can watch this back at the end. And if you've got any questions, then obviously do feel free to pop them in the chat as we go through the slides. So at Educationwise, we offer a range of different programmes for apprenticeships. We have got a list of them there. So they range from level 2 to level 5. You've got a range of sports programmes. You've got some management programmes such as team leader and ops manager. And then you've got some other programmes in there as well, like our sales executive and content creator as well. And then we do have our rail programmes as well that we offer. Apprenticeship programmes with us last anywhere from 12 months to 36 months, depending on the level and the programme that the apprentice is applying for as well. If you do want more detail on a specific programme, if you pop that in the chat, we can send out the information forms for those, so you can have a look at them in a bit more detail if you want to as well. In terms of how to apply as an apprentice, so there is a link there which we will pop into the chat as well, so you can go on to that for any vacancies that we currently have. So applying with us, there is a link to get my first job. It is also on our website, so you can find it through there. We do advertise all of our vacancies on there, so you can find the best role for the apprentice or for yourself if you're applying as an apprentice. There's an application form through that link as well, so they can just apply directly through that website and through the vacancy that they want to apply for. In terms of the enrolment and onboarding with us, so we do have a process that is to be followed when an apprentice is coming on board with us. We do this just to ensure that we're checking the eligibility of the apprentice. So just checking, for example, that they've lived in the UK for the last 3 years, they've got the suitable requirements to go on to the programme, so kind of previous qualifications. We also do check, obviously, maths and English as well mentioned there, so just making sure that they've got the C or 4 and above in GCSE maths and English. If they don't have those, that's also absolutely fine, because functional skills can be sat alongside the apprenticeship programme with those programmes that we offer as well. And then also just checking that they're not currently enrolled onto any other previous government funded courses, so not currently at college or at university or on an apprenticeship elsewhere as well. So doing all those checks in the onboarding stage just allows us to make sure that the apprentice is suitable for going on to a programme as well. And then we've just got some general FAQs here as well, just to kind of go over, just to kind of make sure that all the areas are covered of the apprenticeship. So starting off with off-the-job hours. So just covering in terms of what does off-the-job hours mean. So off-the-job hours is a statutory requirement of part of the apprenticeship. So it's making sure that the training that is received during your normal working hours is used as part of your off-the-job training time. This can be covering any achieving the knowledge, skills and behaviours needed during the apprenticeship as well. And also it is a requirement that you complete at least 6 hours a week of those while on programme as a full-time employee during the qualification. Part-time is worked out slightly differently, but obviously that can be discussed depending on the hours of the apprentice as well.
And then we've got how much will I earn as an apprentice? So if you're under the age of 19, then you must be paid at least the apprenticeship minimum wage. However, many employers do pay more than this, and the average weekly wage is £200. And then if you're over 19, if you're 19 after completing the first year of your apprenticeship, then you must be paid at least the national minimum wage. And then all apprentices are employed and they must have a contract of employment as an apprentice.
And then we've got a question around endpoint assessment. So what is an endpoint assessment, or for short EPA? So EPA is the final part of the apprenticeship. It is where the assessment is taken around the knowledge, skills and behaviours that you've covered throughout the apprenticeship programme. And it's just to confirm that you are fully competent in those areas that you've learned during the duration of your programme. The endpoint assessment is completed in various different ways depending on program. So some programs have a presentation, some have a professional discussion with questions and answers, some of them have a kind of face-to-face like task to be completed, and these all do vary depending on program. Again, this is covered in the that kind of last stage of the apprenticeship, and your tutor will be there to fully support with that as well.
We've then got how is the training delivered? So the apprenticeship is a work-based qualification, and your tutor will observe you through weekly teaching sessions, virtually or face-to-face. We tend to use Teams, so you'll have a 2-hour team session with your tutor every week. And it's to support you in building an apprenticeship portfolio of evidence throughout your programme. And then across the length of an apprenticeship, you have like I said, you have a teaching session every week along with a progress review, which is every 8 to 12 weeks with your employer and your tutor. Your tutor will then also be on hand to offer any other additional support and one-to-ones where needed if necessary.
And then we've got the question around how much does an apprenticeship cost? So we've covered this in 2 slides. We've got as an apprentice and as the employer. So as the apprentice, you do not have to pay anything to us or your employer during the apprenticeship programme with Educationwise.
And then from the employer's point of view, apprentices aged 16 to 18 and part of small businesses, which is less than 50 employees, will receive their apprenticeship funded by the government. Aged 16 to 18 and part of a business with more than 50 employees, you'll be required to pay a 5% fee of the total apprenticeship price. And then lastly, apprentices 19 plus, the employer needs to pay a 5% fee of the total apprenticeship price.
And then also just to add on to there as well, obviously you've got levy businesses as well. So if you have more than 3 million turnover in like pay for your employees, that is obviously then comes out of your levy pot as well. But I'm sure if you are a levy employer, you would know whether that is part of your business as well. So that's the end of our session and the kind of main FAQs that we kind of get asked most often. Obviously, Matthew, if you have got any questions, please do feel free to ask them. If you don't think of anything right now, we have popped on this slide the admin email address, which kind of comes directly to myself and Katie. So if there's anything that you think of after the session or kind of a few weeks down the line, that is on there as well. So please do feel free to drop us an email with any questions or any kind of further information that you would like as well. But if you do have any questions now, we would be happy to answer those if there's anything you want us to.